Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The Phoenix Mercury, a team that was only 2 years removed from being in the WNBA Finals, have gone 0 for the last 11 games to end the WNBA season with a record of 9-31. Pretty bad, right? All right, let's talk about it. So what is up, awesome people of the internet? The WNBA season is now officially over, and it's now time to take a look back and see how the teams did. And we start with the worst team in the league, the Phoenix Mercury. And before we really get into it, let me just kind of remind you of the players who played on Phoenix's roster this season. We, of course, had Brittney Griner, who was really good in her return back to the WNBA this season. She averaged 17.5 points a game and also averaged 6.3 rebounds a game. We have 41-year-old Taurasi, who played in a total of 26 of the 40 games this season. When she did play, she was pretty good. She averaged 16 points a game on 40% shooting from the field. Sophie Cunningham was also on the team. She missed a good amount of games. She played in 31 games, same amount that Brittney Griner played, and averaged 11.3 points a game. Moriah Jefferson, in my opinion, was truly the brightest spot for this team because she brought consistency to the starting lineup. She averaged 10.5 points a game, and she was just really solid. Michaela Onyenwere averaged 8.9 points a game. Also, Shug Sutton averaged 8.2 points a game. But fun fact about Shug Sutton, in the last game of the WNBA season, Shug made history. She made Phoenix Mercury history by nabbing the first triple-double in Phoenix Mercury history. She scored 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists in a game against the Las Vegas Aces. So congratulations to Sutton. That was pretty cool. Megan Gustafson, I thought, really gave good minutes this entire season. She averaged 7.9 points a game on 15 minutes played per game. So pretty efficient for the limited time that she did get. Shey Peddy missed a good amount of games this season, only playing in a total of 18 games. And she averaged 5.2 points a game. Ashley Jones was a late add to the roster, and she played in 8 games, averaging 4.5 points a game. And Brianna Turner played in all 40 games, started 33 of them, and averaged 3.5 points and 6.3 rebounds a game. And finally, to round out the team, we have Kadi Sissoko, who averaged 1.5 points a game on 8 minutes played. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into this season, which really was a hot mess, y'all. We saw head coach Vanessa Nygaard get fired after going 2-10 for the year, and assistant Nikki Blue led the charge the rest of the way as interim head coach. We expected to possibly see Skylar Diggins-Smith in action this season, but she did decide to sit out the entire season due to maternity leave, though she did have the option to come back if she had wanted to, but of course she was paid throughout her maternity leave. If you want to check out the video I made about Skylar Diggins-Smith, you could just click right up here and watch that. Also, this season, Taurasi and Brittney Griner missed a significant number of games, which led to a very unstable lineup. As I mentioned before, I think Moriah Jefferson really helped to bring some stability to the lineup, but it wasn't very stable because you had your 2 best players on the team miss significant amount of games. And the result of all of that is a 9-31 record, making the Phoenix Mercury the worst team in the WNBA this season. Record-wise, but also in terms of a bunch of metrics. So the Phoenix Mercury was the worst scoring team in the league, only averaging 76.6 points a game. They were the worst rebounding team, averaging 30.9 rebounds a game. They were the team with the most turnovers per game with 16.1, and they were the team with the worst efficiency rating. So objectively, from various metrics, you can say that this season did not go well at all for the Phoenix Mercury. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. There were some bright spots that I saw throughout the season. Of course, the biggest one is the fact that Brittney Griner is back this season. And while she's not back to MVP level quality of play, she was very good for the Phoenix Mercury. She, as I said, she averaged around 17 points a game. She was shooting 56% from the field, which was pretty solid. 6.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists. This year, she played a total of 31 games. She missed a couple of those games due to injury, and also she cited some mental health reasons for missing. I believe there was a particular stint where Phoenix was heading to Chicago and then going to Indiana, and she decided to not go on that trip due to mental health concerns. And I would say another bright spot for the Phoenix Mercury came on August the 3rd when Diana Taurasi became the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, hitting the 10,000 point mark in what really was an incredible game against the Atlanta Dream. Diana Taurasi dropped 42 points. She was 6 of 13 from three-point land, and there was even literal goats in the arena to witness this game. And also there was a lot of fans that witnessed the game in person as well. So it was a lot of fanfare around this game, and Diana Taurasi lived up to it, scored 42 points, Brittney Griner's number, which is kind of cool. So that was, I would say, a huge bright spot, was sort of the fanfare around Diana Taurasi just sort of making history again. And so that was for sure a bright spot. I also thought a huge bright spot was the X Factor. So huge shout out to the X Factor. They are the Mercury's loyal fan base. Despite the team's struggles, they showed up night after night, making Phoenix second in average attendance for the season with 9,196 fans per game. And this year wasn't really an anomaly for the Mercury. Since 2013, the Mercury have been top 3 in the entire league for attendance. And when you're a team that is struggling to put up wins, usually one of the first things to go is fan support. So to me, it has been really, really awesome to see the X Factor come out night after night, even though Phoenix were pretty terrible this season. They came night after night to support the team. And if you're wondering who is number 1 in attendance, wild guess, it's the Las Vegas Aces. Of course, the defending champs, they averaged 9,551 fans this season. All right, so that's kind of a general recap about the season for the Phoenix Mercury. Now that the season's over, what is next for the Mercury? So in the 2024 draft, they will have a top 4 pick, which is a great opportunity to snag a young, talented player. So when it comes to the roster, it's a bit tricky. Assuming Diana Taurasi returns, the Mercury will not have a lot of money to work with. According to Her Hoop Stats, the Mercury have Diana Taurasi, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner, Moriah Jefferson, Michaela Onyenwere, and Kadi Sissoko under contract for the next year. And that will cost the team $830,158, leaving them with just over $600,000 for additional signings. So with those numbers in mind, also keep in mind that Skylar Diggins-Smith and Brittney Griner are uncorable unrestricted free agents. Megan Gustafson and Shey Peddy are unrestricted free agents that can be cored. And Shook Sutton is a restricted free agent. So of course, it's most likely that Skylar Diggins-Smith will not return to the Phoenix Mercury for various reasons. So scratch her name off the board and let's kind of work with everybody else. So with all of that being said, here is what I would do if I was the GM for the Phoenix Mercury. I would keep Sophie Cunningham, Moriah Jefferson, Michaela Onyenwere, and Shook Sutton. I would part ways with Brianna Turner and save $150,000. I would ask Diana Taurasi to retire, which would save $234,000. I would re-sign Brittney Griner and Megan Gustafson. And I would aim for securing a power forward that can score. Someone like a Stewie, a Satu Sabally, Alana Smith, though, I think the Stewie one may be a bit of a reach, but who knows? Maybe she'll want to play with Brittney Griner. But securing a scoring power forward to me is key, because that's something that the Phoenix Mercury didn't have that much of this season. So to me, that's going to be key to get someone who can score. Of course, Stewie would be the first choice, Satu second choice. And, if you can't get one of them, I would say the Phoenix Mercury should try whatever they can to get a player like Alana Smith to join their team. Also, the Phoenix Mercury should explore other options like Gabby Williams, one or both of the Samuelson sisters, Aerial Powers, Natasha Cloud, and of course you have the top 4 draft pick next season to fill out the roster. Now, if they do all the things that I'm recommending, will they automatically turn into a contending team? No, I don't think they would at all. Well, that is, unless Stewie goes to Phoenix Mercury, then yes, I do think they will go to a contending team right away. But if Stewie does not go to the Phoenix Mercury and re-signs with the New York Liberty, I think getting players like Satu, Gabby Williams, Natasha Cloud even, to go to the Phoenix Mercury, I think could at least help the team make the playoffs, which is a win considering that they are now at the bottom of the league this season. So that was my ideal situation. Here's what I think they will actually do. I think they're going to bring back Diana Taurasi, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner, Moriah Jefferson, and Michaela Onyenwere. They will re-sign Brittney Griner and Megan Gustafson. And I think they pick up a player like a Aerial Powers, or and also try to see what players they can kind of get on the cheap and try to run it back again. They will have Diana Taurasi out for a significant amount of time next season due to various injuries. And they will be bottom of the league again. And then at that moment, Diana Taurasi will sail off into the sunset and retire from the WNBA. That is what I think will happen. But ultimately, we will see what happens. The Phoenix Mercury have a new GM, so we'll kind of see how it goes. Though I truly believe that the best thing for the Phoenix Mercury will be to move away from Diana Taurasi. Yes, she is the GOAT of the WNBA. I'm saying that because literally she was voted the GOAT of the WNBA. And she's done a lot for the game of women's basketball. But she's 41 years old. And her body cannot withstand a full WNBA season. Like, it just can't. And it's proven itself over the years. This year, she only played 26 of 40 games. Last year, she played 31 of, I believe it was 36 games last season. And in 2021, she played just 16 games. Sure, she has spurts of her old self where, here and there, she's very good. But the Mercury are paying her too much money for part-time availability. They need to move on so they can spend the money on players that are more likely to play the entire season. Also, the Phoenix Mercury needs a head coach. Nikki Blue did all right with what she had, but I personally don't see her as a head coach at this moment, at least. Maybe down the line she can be a head coach, but at this exact moment, I don't see her as the head coach for the Phoenix Mercury, especially if they're trying to be a competitive team. The Phoenix Mercury needs to scour the head coach market and pick up someone that has a track record of turning teams around, because that is what the Phoenix Mercury need right now. So that is my take, guys. And I'm curious on what your take on the Phoenix Mercury, on their season, on their future. What do y'all think? What would you do if you were the GM of the Mercury? Please share your thoughts. I would love to hear what you all have to say, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. And this video is a series of videos that I am doing on every single team in the WNBA, sort of like a post-mortem of sorts. So if you're interested in looking at some of the other teams, you can just click right over here and watch those videos. All right, guys, that is the video. And until next time, guys, bye.